Trump. How do you feel now?
Horrible. Horrible.
What did you vote for?
I voted for change, but I didn't vote for this change.
Through tears, wearing an ICE-issued uniform, Cynthia Oliveira watched this huge MAGA fan realize over time that Donald Trump's big ugly bill actually hurts him and his family. This was him before the bill got signed into law.
I bet you don't think Donald Trump's a liar now. No taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security passed the House today with flying colors in effect after December 31st, 2025. And y'all said he wouldn't do it, but he did the shit in 5 months.
But after he actually read the bill and realized that Donald Trump is not only breaking a bunch of his promises, but hurting the American people as well, his tune changed a little bit. Take a look at him now.
You know why we voted for Donald Trump? Because the middle class man finally thought he was going to get ahead in life. You said no taxes on overtime. Big, bold, beautiful letters. We thought, hell yeah, why would we not vote for that?
In Greenville, Texas, an elderly couple committed suicide together in the Lowe's parking lot. I'm going to say that one more time. In Greenville, Texas, an elderly couple committed suicide together in the Lowe's parking lot. Now, when you hear that, what do you think is the cause of that?
Seeing all these dude bro influencers like crash out because gambling is now taxed even if you lose. It's just so hilarious because like y'all were all so right wing and like, oh Trump, yay, we get to be more rich. Ha, loser. He bankrupted a casino and now he hates casinos, so he's coming for your money. Everything this man does is out of spite. How have you not learned that yet? I can't wait till my grandpa who only consumes Fox News and his only hobby is gambling finds this shit out. This is gonna be fun. I guess it is kind of eating the rich though. So I don't know. But Donald is low-key a queen, guys. Like, so petty that you bankrupted a casino all those years ago that now you have to go after all gambling. That's some petty shit. No, but really everyone who voted for that bill.
This was supposed to be something huge for the middle class, you know, where most people in America are. And we've all just been misled about it, to be honest.
So the big beautiful bill did pass today, and I just feel a little misled. I feel misled. What do you think?
You know why we voted for Donald Trump? Because the middle class man finally thought he was going to get ahead in life. You said no taxes on overtime. Big, bold, beautiful letters. We thought, hell yeah, why would we not vote for that? Then you turn around and pass the bill and it's a crock of shit.
Well, who would have seen that coming? You see, people have been on this app trying to tell you guys over and over and over that this big beautiful bill is not what you think it is. And sure, they lured you in with things like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. But you all have no idea what's actually coming for your states. But over the next couple of years, when you red state Republicans see that your grandma's nursing homes are closing and there's less food in schools and at home for kids in your red states, and all the other things that we said were going to happen from this bill being passed, hey, at least in 2025, you owned the libs, and Trump won. America lost. Enjoy out and find out state.
I've been seeing posts all day from Trump voters who are upset that Project 2025 policies are being put into place and taking funding away from veterans, from farmers, and from Social Security recipients. And the only thing that I can say is, we told you so. And that's not to be mean. We spent a lot of time saying that Project 2025 was the plan. But you told us that Trump said Project 2025 wasn't the plan, that was not the idea. But now he has put all of the architects of Project 2025 in place. He's put them in the head of the OMB, the White House Budgeting Office. He has put the architects of Project 2025 in the places they need to do to cut funding from farmers, from veterans, and from the people who rely most on government support. Seniors, farmers, our veterans, these are the people that he is taking funding away from. This was always the plan. Project 2025 was always the plan, and you said that he says it wasn't the plan, that he campaigned and he promised us. But what? You are the ones who says don't believe anything that Trump says. You can't believe. So why did you believe him when he said Project 2025 wasn't the plan? When he selected a vice president that wrote the forward for Project 2025? veteran benefits are taken away from you, just know we tried to warn you. We tried to tell you that Project 20...
It wasn't an accident. They did it on purpose. They thought that there was nothing else that could help them. That's what I want you to think about. When y'all are cheering and hip hip hooraying because Medicare and Medicaid are gone, food stamps are gone, nursing homes are gone, and hospitals are gone, I want y'all to think about that. I want you to think about your grandmothers and your grandfathers and how they're not going to have anywhere to go. They're not going to get any care because you're not going to wipe their ass. You don't even go see them in the nursing home. We are about to see so much more of this. So much more of this.
I'm not being fear. The United States is gone. I don't mean that in a hyperbolic way. I'm not being fear-mongery, but it's gone. And it's never coming back. We've already gone so far down the authoritarian hellhole that it's already not the United States that we have known. It is something different entirely. The president has immunity. SCOTUS is compromised. Congress is worthless because they've all been bought and paid for. And so what I mean when I say it's already gone and it's never coming back is by it's already gone, we've already fallen so far into authoritarianism, and we're going to keep falling until some point. So we're already not the United States anymore. And then it will never be again, because even when, and I do believe it's when, we claw ourselves back out of this hellhole, we cannot go back to things the way they were, because we have seen that the checks and balances that we so relied upon and the systems that we had in place were not enough to prevent what is happening from happening. So we can't continue that. We can't just have another election and be like, okay, let's get back to business as usual. That would be insane. Literally like the definition of insanity. And it's like you're in a relationship and the person cheats on you, and thus the foundation of your relationship is cracked, and you really love them and you're really comfortable. So it would be like easy to just like go back to things as usual, but you know that you cannot build a relationship on a cracked foundation, and you know that this is probably going to happen again, so you have to leave. That's the same kind of thing here. Like, we have seen too much. We know that this system does not protect us from authoritarianism, despite the fact that we all believed and were taught that it would, and now we are in this shitstorm. When I say SCOTUS is compromised, obviously we have hella Christian nationalists on the Supreme Court. There is a Republican supermajority on the Supreme Court, which never should have happened. And then when I say Congress is worthless, obviously there are people on Congress who are doing their damnedest to try to make things be less awful, and people on Congress who are not bought and paid for by shitty entities. But the vast majority of them in both parties are bought and paid for by shitty entities, by corporations and PACs and shit that have zero interests aligned with we the people. Zero. And they signed a deal with the devil, and now they're paying him back. Like, when people get all up in arms and confused about Democrats doing shady shit, it's like, I don't know why you're confused. Like, the people that paid for them to be in that position demand that they do that. And they were happy to take that deal. Both parties suck. I mean, one party sucks like way more, but the two-party system sucks. Both parties suck. Citizens United should never have existed. I don't understand how the fuck that ever passed, but here we are. And that's the thing, is like, there were so many small things that had to happen to get us where we are, and I think that's why it was able to happen. But these people have been strategic. They have been planning this, and each time one little thing happened, it didn't seem as terrible or as insidious as it actually was. And now they have their guy in office, and he's doing all of the things that we were all afraid of, and all the things, as a matter of fact, that he said he was going to do. And everyone's like, I can't believe he's doing this. Like, he literally said he was, though. So I don't know why everyone is confused. And by everyone, I mean lots of people. Obviously not everyone. Like,
I'm kind of pissed off. Been shot at, watched friends die for this country. It's done. It's gone. And it's all white supremacists. MAGA, Republicans, all of them. Billionaires.
claims are going to get automatically set to denials, and we're going to be on the hook financially because filial laws, and filial laws are applying in like 30 states. So you should really understand what that's going to mean for you, because basically it's saying that they can hold you civilly or criminally liable for not paying for your elderly parents and or in some cases grandparents medical care. Okay, in my situation, you may only have one living parent left, and he might have been an abusive piece of shit because he was an alcoholic and an addict, and honestly, you might not want to do that. You might rather want to go to jail than do that. So frankly, I think everybody should understand what it is that these people are voting for, and I know a lot of people were concerned about overtimes and taxes and taxes on tips and things. That's just the tip of the damn iceberg when it comes to this bill, okay? And a lot of people that are voting for it haven't even read the whole thing. They basically said that, okay, which I don't understand how that's even possible, because I know in my past position, if I didn't read a contract but I bound the company to it, I'd be held fucking liable for that shit, okay? So I would just like to understand what it is we're all doing, and I would also like to understand why it is that MAGA Republicans seem to think that it's okay for their leaders to lie to them, because they said they weren't going to cut Medicaid funding, and they also said that they weren't going to, enact Project 2025, but here we are.
But when I told y'all Candace Owens was getting paid to run one of the largest smear campaigns against Kamala Harris, I was crazy, right? But now she's trying to backtrack and blame it on Christianity as to why she no longer supports Trump. It's not Christianity that's got her concerned. It's the fact that they're not paying her anymore, and she thought that her husband in proximity to whiteness and slandering Kamala Harris was gonna get her on the up and up with Trump. Promised her a seat, just like they promised everyone else a seat, but guess who didn't get one? Because they're still a black woman. And I don't know why you thought you were the exception. You were not the exception, you were the rule. Forget, you were posting 12 videos a fucking day during the election talking about Kamala Harris and why no one should vote for her. Let's play the video.
But I want to say this, quite seriously. 4 years ago, in 2020, I had no kids. It's an incredible thing to think about. I had 0 children, and now I have 3 children. And I'm so serious when I say that I was so concerned about Kamala winning that my husband and I were having serious discussions about what will happen, what can we do, what is our option. And I know that we're not the only family that truly thought about where will we go if you want to get on here and cry baby tears and say no one told you that Trump was going to be like this. He was never like this. Everybody told you. And you were going to college campuses with fucking Charlie Kirk debating feminists and black women, calling them wrong and saying they had equal privilege as a white man. They paid you for a job. You did that job. But see, just like everybody else that the Trump administration took that job from that they were offered during the election, you're not going to get that seat that you wanted. You're not getting the seat in the administration that you thought you were going to get. No black person ever was, especially not a black woman. And now you're trying to go back to your other blogging page to try to rekindle some of that money we're making during the election. Not happening, Candace. We know who you are.
This is a question for MAGA, and I'm literally looking for genuine open dialogue here. I'm not even joking. Is your support of the big beautiful bill, is it based on the fact that you truly believe that it is going to be beneficial in the long run? That it is going to help the country? I mean, we see a lot of information coming out saying that this is going to increase the deficit substantially. But do you believe that in the short term it's more worth doing this? And again, if this is how you feel, I'm open to hearing it. Are you of the mind that you are willing to see the deficit increase, you're willing to possibly lose your own benefits because you feel that there are people in this country that don't deserve those benefits, so even if you suffer, you're okay suffering a little bit, so as long as they lose stuff too. Genuinely, I want to hear this, because really, everything that I'm hearing and seeing is bad. We have nonpartisan groups that are basically budget watchdogs, Democrats and Republicans in these groups that are saying this is bad news. We have financial experts with decades of experience saying this looks like bad news. And yeah, I genuinely want to hear why you think that all of their experience, all of their advice, all of their expertise, it doesn't matter. You think this bill needs to be passed. I just want to hear it.
So we are seeing the repercussions of this big beautiful bill. You're being told in this video that This bill is going to affect millions and millions and millions of American citizens, of Americans who are literally depending on their health insurance. So Medicaid is cut, SNAP benefits are cut. So in this video, you're literally being told there are some elderly couples who have literally committed suicide. Why? Because of this bill. Because they cannot afford health care. Because life is gonna be so difficult for them. So they decided, you know what, their only way out is just to commit suicide. It's really painful, but that's just one of the case study. So now what's going to happen to the other millions and millions of Americans who cannot afford private hospitals, who cannot afford paying bills that are for private hospitals? These Americans who are literally depending on these Medicaid benefits to get affordable health care, to get access to the doctors, to get access to medicine at a cheaper price. What's going to happen to them? Children who are depending on this Medicaid, what's going to happen to them? I mean, the scenario, when you think about it, is so mind-boggling, because you're looking at the consequences and you're feeling it, because you know so many people are going to suffer silently. They are in pain, but they cannot afford to go to the hospitals. SNAP benefits have also been cut. Rural homes, people who live in the rural areas are going to be affected. So there's a lot of repercussions, and that's the reason why you're being told, when you go to vote, please vote wisely. Look, do your research. Don't hear what people are saying. Don't just listen to what the media is saying, because the media, they all have their own agenda. Just do your own research. Look who has your best interest at heart. Then vote for somebody who you know for sure is going to help you and your community to thrive and live peacefully, and of course, and grow and become, you know, financially independent. Because right now in this bill is only benefiting the ultra wealth, that is the millionaires and the billionaires. But what about the common person who depend on maybe who lives on paycheck to paycheck, who depend on their 9-to-5 job, who maybe don't have even a job, they're only depending on these SNAP benefits, Medicare benefits, because maybe they're disabled? What's going to happen to them? I mean, the repercussions are mind-boggling, and the reality is this is just the beginning. This is what they call FAFO season continue, because so many people warned the MAGA voters, but somehow they didn't listen. And now you're hearing this MAGA voter complaining and saying this is not what they voted for. This is not what they wanted. They wanted something different, which was in their head, forgetting that when it comes to government policy, it does not affect just one community or one race. It affects everybody. If they put a policy in place, they don't say, oh, we're only going to target blacks, white, Latin. No, it's usually cut across everybody. So when they say they're going to cut down on health care, that is Medicaid, they did not say they're only targeting blacks or Latinos or the Native American. No, they just say they're going to cut down on Medicaid. When they say they're cut down on SNAP benefits, they say they're going to cut it. They did not mention that, oh, we're only going to target the ones who are benefit the blacks. No. Unfortunately for the MAGA voters, when they say this, they thought people who are benefiting a lot are the black communities, that is the black Americans or the Latinos community, forgetting that majority of people who are benefiting under Medicaid and the SNAP benefits are mostly people in the southern states who are living depending on that, because most of them come from rural areas, and most of them, maybe they're living under the median pay of America. So what's going to happen to them? What's going to happen to them? And this is what they say, FAFO season continue. This is what they say, please be careful who you voted for. This is what they say, vote wisely, because at the end of the day, it might come and bite you. And this is what's the result. What's going to happen? Only time will tell. Is it a good bill? This big, beautiful bill, is it a good bill? There are some people who are saying, yes, it's a good bill. And there are people who are saying, no, it's a bad bill. People who are benefiting, who are smiling all the way to the bank, are the ultra-wealthy. Those are the ones who are benefiting on this bill. But the people who are poor, that is the lower middle class, and the poor, those are the ones who are literally crying right now. Because they're wondering, okay, if they shut down those elderly facilities, care homes, what's going to happen to the elderly? What's going to happen to the veterinary who are depending on this health insurance? What's going to happen to the children who are depending on this health insurance? What's going to happen to parents who are depending on this health insurance and they cannot afford to go private? What's going to happen to these families who are depending on public schools? They cannot afford to pay private tuitions. What's going to happen? only time will tell. And this is the time you know the chicken has come home to roost. This is the time you say Kama is a bitch. Let me know what you think about this video. Drop your comments and please subscribe to my channel.